So what's up everybody, this is D from Brooklyn, and I want to give you a little update on the native species tag. It is about a month in, as we do with all saltwater tanks, waiting for everything to establish itself and get that cycle going. So I got my mollies in here as I always do with a majority of my starter tanks. But what I did show you in the last tank was the addition of a whole bunch of native grass shrimp and some snails that I got by the shoreline. Now the crab is also in there. Hermit crab is usually running all over the place, so I don't either he's settled down or he's kicked the bucket or something, but he's usually running all over the place and I don't see him. So I'll look for him a little later. But just to give you a heads up, the tank is in my little studio area, so when you guys see me live streaming and you usually see my collection of shield and memorabilia and things in the background, I'm usually sitting at this little tank. So it was really important for me, and I'll move this out of the way, my microphone here. It was really important for me to get this tank running, as this is something that I stare at a majority of the time. I'm not using any crazy lights on it, just some regular LEDs that I had sitting around. I believe they're the Aquaneat LEDs that I had on the Super Cube, and they're doing a job. I have some kelp that I had sitting outside, make sure I had no eggs or anything on it. I have some kelp in there, I have some live rock in there, some mussel shells and things. I am kind of on the fence in regards to the Aragalive black sand. It may have been a little too coarse for local, seeing how the local fish and things have a really powder type sand. I didn't want to get the powder, the really fine sand, because it tends to get in your motors and impellers and tends to wear them down. But I do have the Aragalive sand, and if you look real close, you'll see the barnacle is still alive. Although the mussel did die, the barnacle is still going strong. I'm not feeding heavily to this tank because I don't want to go through an ammonia spike and I don't want to trigger an algae bloom. But I'm feeding the Hikari sinking wafers, which everybody seems to love. I have the shrimp eating them, the fish eating them, the hermit loves them, and it seems to be working out nicely. So I did add my Serpent Star, because I really don't see these spotted Serpent Stars here, and I just jumped on that to keep kind of the bottom under control. I didn't want any dead food sitting down there, so I do have the Serpent Star. And I did break my own rules. I'm gonna swing around here, and I did get 2 additional fish for this tank that are not native species, only because since it is empty and still cycling, I said what better time to see if I could get my sail fins to breed and accomplish the color that I wanted to accomplish in this growing tank. Over here you can see all the shrimp kind of congregate in this little corner here, and as you look real close, oh, that one just popped out of the sand if you saw it. They bury themselves in the substrate, which is why I'm kind of regretting putting such a coarse substrate. But on the other hand, if I had put a fine sand in here, I'd have probably never seen these shrimp again, because as you can see, they can very well bury themselves even in this coarse sand, and they like kind of darker, slow moving water areas. So they're chilling here. You can see the snails over there doing their thing. And I have not cleaned the gravel, but you can see it's pretty clean. It's pretty looking pretty decent. So I'm happy about that. Snails all over the place. I did find a lot of snail eggs with the last addition of snails. They started laying eggs. I think I did a water change, maybe it's some cool water, and they laid eggs all along the glass. So I may be getting a crap load of snails, which is cool because this is all an experiment. And while I'm over here, you can see these sail fins are really pretty. I have a male and a female because I have 2 female mollies in here already. I tend to find that the males do not acclimate to the salt as readily as the females, and in them battling, it becomes a problem with acclimation. If you have multiple males in there, they tend to fight with the females a lot, and you end up with a dead male a majority of the time. Oddly enough, the female usually lives, the male ends up dead. So I'm slowly drip acclimating them. I already changed this water out once, dripping with tank water, salt water. They are freshwater mollies. I'm slowly acclimating them. They are brackish fish, so they should do pretty well, and time will tell. I will keep you updated on that. Also, if you did not see in the last video, I did put a piece of wood in here just to make it look a little more natural, because that red rock was really bothering me. But when I added the wood, it became a lot more acceptable. Swing around the front. I may even add another piece in there if I can find some. I usually have this stuff in my pond. So I wasn't using this one, so I put it on in here. And so far so good. Now the salinity, as the water has been evaporating, is not so bad. You can also see those eggs here too. A lot of these eggs, all of this snail eggs, snail eggs, snail eggs. Some of them are even out of the water. I see some of them above the water line. But my water line is good, so go figure. But yeah, everything, let me move this cup out of the way. Everything is doing okay. I don't have the auto top off on here. I'm manually topping off, and I'm not using the RO water. I'm using the tap water and salt, instant ocean salt. I'm varying between RO water and tap water because I do not want to use all my RO water on the system. That's another thing that I want to manage, is the regular tap water. Before we used RO water, we used to use tap water. We had little issues with algae, but as you can see, I don't have those issues. So I'm going to stay the course, and I will keep you along for the ride. So other than that, what else do we have going on? Skimmer is still not on. I'm not running the skimmer. My salinity is at 1.023. Usually it's at 1.024. Keeping it a little on the low side right now because I have the mollies in here. And when I tested the water last, the pH in here was 7.8. 7.9. The actual pH of the seawater that I got them at my local shoreline was 7.8. So slightly higher than regular for them pH. But as you can see, the fish are completely fine swimming around. I did get one shrimp, looks like it molted. Either it molted or it kicked the bug. It looked like that was molt. So let me swing around. So yeah, we got a little bit of molt, and that grass is doing okay. Of course, this is artificial. If you thought it was real, good job. Pinplax artificial grass looks real. I'm not focusing on raising plants and cultivating all that. My focus is on the fish and studying them in this environment. So I'm not going to add any more non-native species, but I want to see how they do and try to get some more information on local fish. So my next video, God willing, weather providing, is to collect some fish, and that shrimp just shot out of nowhere. These shrimp are pretty big. But I want to actually collect some fish. If I can get lucky enough, get some assistance, go out there. Anybody wants to drop me a line, leave in the comments below. But I've got to get out there with the net and go out a little bit deeper, which is hard to do by yourself, and try to see if I can net some fish, especially killifish. I used to get some awesome killifish from my local shoreline. Actually out in Canarsie it used to be, but they've developed that area a lot in the last few years, so shoreline isn't the same as it used to be. But other than that, still filter sock, filter floss, providing the filtration. I'm going to be adding some carbon. I don't want to go too heavy on the carbon because, once again, that's something that they don't see in the wild. It alters the chemistry a little bit in the water, so I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. There's no heater in here. It is at room temperature, which is right now, the tank temperature is about 76, I would say, about 76, which is pretty high. It was hot. My My control 4 was actually going off the other day. The tank up here had hit 80, which is pretty damn hot for spring, May of 2021. So it is getting hot down here. I had to open the windows in the basement, get some air down here, and that is the update. What else do I have to tell you? I will give you more information. Look at this guy laying eggs right now. Look at that. I wish I had some nail polish. I'd mark this one so I know which snail is the female. And somebody likes attention. So the next video you will see, if you click subscribe, which I would imagine you've already done because you guys are so cool, and ladies included, will be the collection of fish and other wildlife that I can find in the shoreline. So click me a thumbs up. Let me know if there's anything that you have seen that you have, maybe you have tips, maybe you know something I don't know, maybe you've collected in the past, maybe you want to collect, have some questions, leave them in the comments below. Look forward to trying to keep this updated and scientific and keeping a record of everything in the old fish file on the phone. So until next time, this is D from Brooklyn. Love, peace, and hair grease. Thank you for showing the love. And I'm out, everybody. See ya. Keeping it simple.